Junior doing?
He's great. He's growing.
Amen.
I've been keeping him off the internet.
Chrisean Rock has been navigating a whirlwind of highs and lows ever since she stepped into the public eye through her complex, passionate, and often chaotic relationship with fellow rapper and social media personality, Blueface. Describing their dynamic as a roller coaster barely begins to scratch the surface. Over the span of nearly 5 years, their love life, full of turbulence and tender moments, has unfolded in front of millions, turning them into headline staples and social media fodder. It has been a saga that sparked endless debates, memes, fan reactions, and even deep concern. From their explosive arguments to moments of affection that hinted at genuine love, the relationship has never been black and white. And while both of them have often been painted in controversial hues, it's Chrisean who has been drawing the most attention lately. Not for drama, but for growth. It's easy to get caught up in the noise, to be consumed by what the world sees, and says, especially when every mistake, every tear, every shout, and every smile is captured, reposted, and dissected. For the longest time, that seemed to be the cycle Chrisean was stuck in. Her behavior, just like Blueface's, has been under scrutiny, often amplified by the fact that they never really kept their private matters private. Every disagreement turned into a spectacle. Every emotional breakdown became a trending moment. But in recent months, something shifted. Chrisean has been showing signs of profound introspection. She's not just reacting anymore. She's reflecting. The same woman who once went live to air out her pain now pauses to think before sharing, especially when it comes to the most precious part of her life, her son. One of the most noticeable changes in her journey has been her openness about her spiritual and emotional healing. She's repeatedly credited her religious journey as the main catalyst for this transformation. It's not just about going to church or saying a prayer. It's deeper than that. It's about trying to find peace in a world that has rarely offered her any. In a recent emotional sit-down with the Danza Project, Chrisean opened up like never before. Her words carried the weight of someone who's been through more than most people can imagine: heartbreak, public judgment, motherhood, and the inner battle of trying to love someone else while struggling to love herself. During the interview, her demeanor changed noticeably when the topic turned to her son, Chrisean Jr. She spoke softly, her voice almost trembling under the emotion she tried to hold back. "He's doing great," she said, offering a gentle smile that betrayed the pain of past rumors. Her face lit up momentarily, the pride of a mother momentarily overcoming the sadness that's lingered in the background. "I've been keeping him off the internet on purpose," she explained, emphasizing the importance of giving him the one thing she was rarely afforded: privacy. Just giving him his privacy, for real. I show him, but I just want to prove everybody wrong. And then came the moment that made her choke up. "There's nothing wrong with my son." Those words weren't just a declaration, they were a response, a defense, and a plea for understanding all wrapped in one. The internet, cruel as it often is, had circulated rumors that something might be wrong with Chrisean Jr., from speculations about developmental delays to cruel comments about her parenting. The chatter had been relentless. And yet, in that quiet moment, she dismissed it all with grace. She wasn't angry. She was hurt, sure. But more than anything, she was determined. Determined to show the world that motherhood had not broken her. It had made her whole. Determined to shield her son from the toxic glare of fame, a glare that had already seared through her own soul so many times before. Determined to reclaim the narrative and say, with strength, that love, real, vulnerable, sometimes messy love, was enough. As the interview continued, she was asked how she's managed to cope with the unending flood of negativity. Her response was raw and painfully human. "I went live, I popped my shit, and I cried," she said, laughing softly at herself as she recalled the many times she'd poured her heart out to her followers. "But that's just me being vulnerable." In a world where people are often punished for showing too much emotion, especially women in the spotlight, Chrisean's honesty felt like a small act of rebellion. She wasn't apologizing for being emotional, she was owning it. But even with all the courage she's shown, it's clear that her journey hasn't been easy. What appears to have changed her course permanently was her time spent in jail. 3 long, sobering months behind bars. For many, jail is just a punishment. But for Chrisean, it was a wake-up call. The stillness, the isolation, the absence of chaos. It forced her to sit with herself. And sometimes, that's the hardest thing to do. I don't even think I was mentally ready, she said, reflecting on her state of mind before becoming a mother. Her voice cracked as she confessed, I was ready because I love hard, but I was broken, and I feel like I had nothing left. She wasn't just talking about physical exhaustion. She was talking about emotional depletion, the kind that sneaks in when life has repeatedly shown you its darkest corners. Her vulnerability once again was striking. She wasn't trying to be strong in that moment. She was just being honest. She wiped away tears. Her words began to paint a vivid picture of fear and uncertainty. The future, especially with Blueface in jail and refusing to publicly embrace their son, felt terrifying. Imagine stepping into the hardest job of your life, motherhood, without the support of the person who helped create that life. She admitted she was scared, not just of raising a child alone, but of failing, of being misunderstood, of not being enough. And yet, amid all that fear, something else was growing, a quiet resilience. Chrisean didn't break under the pressure. If anything, she bent, healed, and began to rebuild. Her evolution hasn't gone unnoticed. While the world once watched her stumble, now people are starting to watch her rise. And what makes her story even more compelling is that she's not pretending to be perfect. She still has moments of doubt, she still cries, and she still sometimes lashes out. But there's a different energy now. Less chaos, more clarity. She's not just reacting to the world anymore, she's beginning to respond, and that distinction is everything. Chrisean Rock's relationship with fame has always been complicated. She didn't step into the spotlight with a carefully curated image or a team of publicists. She stumbled into it, raw and unfiltered. And while that's made her the subject of ridicule at times, it's also what makes her real. People connect with her because she's not pretending. She shows the mess, the beauty, the rage, the joy, and everything in between. And now, with motherhood grounding her and faith guiding her, she seems to be reaching for something bigger than the next viral moment. Of course, the road ahead is still uncertain. Fame doesn't just go away, and neither do its pressures. But if there's one thing we can learn from Chrisean's recent revelations, it's that healing isn't linear, growth isn't glamorous, and change doesn't happen in silence. It happens in the messy, public, painful spaces where you're forced to confront who you've been and who you want to become. She's walking that path, step by difficult step. And for perhaps the first time, she's not walking it for the cameras, she's walking it for herself and for her son. The world might never stop talking about Chrisean Rock and Blueface. The internet might never stop analyzing every post, every expression, every cryptic caption. But Chrisean is no longer playing to that audience. She's choosing something quieter, something more meaningful. She's choosing motherhood over mayhem, peace over performance. And as she continues to grow in the face of judgment, perhaps the world might eventually shift its gaze, not to gawk, but to understand. Because what Chrisean is doing now isn't just for headlines, it's for healing.